There is a moment in a human life that is not loud, it does not look like awakening, and it is not a revolution. It is a quiet point where a person realizes for the first time that they are not only what they think they are. This is not an escape from reality. It is a return into it. At this point, consciousness no longer asks, how do I change the world? But instead, how am I actually seeing? And here, something fundamental shifts. When consciousness matures into this stage, it stops reacting automatically. It no longer runs only on old patterns of fear, memory, and conditioning. A space appears, and inside that space, choice is born. Not a choice between right and wrong, but between conscious response and unconscious repetition. This is the real shift. Not everyone can carry this shift, not because they are weak, but because consciousness without grounding can overwhelm a human being. When the mind opens faster than the body and nervous system can feel safe, chaos arises. A person begins to see more than they can integrate. Instead of peace, overload appears. That is why consciousness never pushes, it only invites. And this is where a natural division happens, not of society, but of ways of perceiving reality. Some people remain in an old mode where reality responds to fear, defense, and control. Others begin to perceive more subtly, and their reality starts to change, not through force, but through a shift in perception. Not because they manifest something, but because they no longer see through old filters. A conscious person does not leave the world. Quite the opposite. They become normal. They pay bills. They make mistakes. They laugh. They rest. The difference is simple. They no longer fight what is. And because of that, reality around them begins to soften. The golden bridge of consciousness is not built between worlds. It is built between reaction and silence, between impulse and response. It is a bridge a person does not cross once, but again and again in everyday life. And maybe that is why this shift is felt so strongly today. Not as an explosion, but as a gentle reorganization of reality. Not everyone will cross it, and that is perfectly okay. Consciousness is never in a hurry. Because real change in the world never begins outside. It begins in how we see, when we see consciously.